Hello, welcome to Blindpomegranatetarot. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, well, you know what's going to happen. I'm Christine, and today we are doing a pick a card that is a follow-up for our Tuesday Coffee Talks. If you haven't seen the Coffee Talk from Tuesday, take a minute, go back and check it out. What we were discussing was how to embrace your spiritual gifts. And so today we're going to follow that up with, we're going to ask Spirit, what is the best way to deepen your spiritual practice? Or if you're confused about maybe what your abilities are, we can get some additional information about that. Maybe help you to overcome some of that fear about your spiritual gifts. So I suggest, go back and look at the Coffe Talk Tuesday, just this past Tuesday, and I share a lot about myself, as always. So there's a lot of information there that could help you. But for today, what we're going to do is we're going to ask Spirit specifically. If you know about your gifts, maybe this will just give you a little bit more information about how your guides want to help you with it. Or if you're a little confused about it, maybe this will point you in a direction. Or if you have an ability that maybe you don't know about, it'll give you something to look into and to research and try and find out about yourself. So if you are either drawn to our Coffee Talk or you're drawn to this pick a card, you definitely have some gifts. Everyone is a sensitive. We talked about clairsentience in our Coffee Talk. So I'll just go ahead and jump right in here. We have 4 piles. I went with what Spirit told me to pick as for each pile, so that you can help to choose which ones. So it's a very eclectic mix we have here, is what I'm trying to get at. So on pile 1, we have a piece of white sage. Okay, on pile 2, we have a incense cone. On pile 3, a matchstick. And on pile 4, this is used during meditation. I use it during meditation. It is Buddhist, and it's very balanced. So that may mean something. We'll see. I haven't pulled the cards yet. So we have group 1, 2, 3, or 4. So there are a couple of different ways that you can choose which pile resonates for you. You can close your eyes and run the numbers through your mind, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and see which one stands out. If you have the ability to see auras, maybe you can see the auras in these decks, or maybe you can see them vibrating. We talked about that on Tuesday as well, auras. Or you can do what I like to do, is just sit and meditate on it. So that's what I'm going to do with you guys. And so how this works is I ask you to put your feet on the floor, your hands with your palms up. Your feet will root you to the earth, and your palms will root you to the universe. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in for 5. We're going to hold it for 2, and then we're going to push it out our mouths for 3, like blowing through a straw. And what that's going to do is it's going to clear your energy so that you can sit back into your intuition and hear. And that's clairaudient. We talked about that on Tuesday as well. Or just feel, or just know, like claircognizance. We talked about that as well. So I am going to do it with you, and you can do this as many times as you need to. If you need to pause the video, you can do that as well. So let's begin. Okay, so if you need to pause the video, please feel free to do so. If you're new here, please consider subscribing and commenting. Give us a little like. Tell me what your gifts are and ask me a question. I am here to answer questions. I love doing that as well. If I can help you, I am absolutely going to do that. Down below in the description box, I always add in some meditations that might help you to connect. I've also added a couple of extra links about some more information about different kinds of abilities that you might have that might help you. So there's always a little bit of that down there in the description box as well. So check that out. And so I hope that I feel like this is going to be really exciting, and I hope that this helps you. Always remember, you can't choose wrong. You just can't. So there will always be a message in one of these piles for you. If you want to listen to all four, that's perfectly fine too. There may be a message in everything, and you may be drawn to more than one. That's perfectly fine. But if something doesn't resonate with you, please just leave it behind. It wasn't meant for you, because this is a group reading, right? For the universe to see. So not everything's going to resonate for you. So just leave it behind. Never try to make it fit. So I'm excited to get started, and I will see you in your reading. Bye. Hello, Group 1. You chose the White Sage. And the card that was under it is the Queen of Light. It talks about illumination, and I'll get further into that in just a minute. That's a beautiful card. So let me explain for those of you who are new here. I am legally blind, visually impaired, and so I have a lot of friends that are as well. So I do my readings a little bit differently. You can see the cards are all laid out already. And I will go through them one by one and explain what the cards look like to those who can only hear my readings. So let's start, shall we? This is really beautiful. As it was unfolding, I was like, oh, I know who these people are. So let's start. Your first tarot card is the Six of Cups. Six of Cups can talk about your childhood and the vibrancy and brightness of being a child, and everything is exciting and brightly colored, and it's lots of fun, and so it's kind of a beckoning back to your childhood, the roots of who you are. I love that. And then the second card you got is the Sun card. I think the happiest of all the cards. I love it. But it's interesting, and I'll go through this as we go, how much illumination and light there is in this pull. And the third card that you got was the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords is three swords run through a heart. That's very typical. But this is not a love reading, so this is a little different. But what I heard immediately when I got that card was healer, light worker. Okay, so that's where we're going. I pulled two Akashic Records cards. One is the Seven of Roses, the journey. And the next one is the Buddha prepares. You can see the green in that. It's definitely heart chakra. Okay. And so what I got from these two cards was that your spiritual journey is headed in a new direction. Okay. And be prepared for that. The Buddha is always prepared. The Buddha, be in the moment when it comes to you. Be in the moment of it and just go with it. Okay. But they're definitely telling you that your spiritual journey is about to take a shift. And I think that's beautiful. So if you were drawn to this pile, part of your message is to embrace what you have. Embrace your gifts. Here I pulled two archetype cards. Let me grab that. There we go. The first one is the Father. Interesting that, again, it's trees, right? And it's balanced, dark and light. It talks about the roots, the foundations of who you are, that the Father is the stability, and the number is 2, which is equal balance. Yeah, that's very interesting, because then the other card that you received is the Judge. You can see the equal balance of color, light and dark. Again, the same as this, right? The equal balance of light and dark. And of course the tree and the root system. It's beautiful how they go together. And so it's not judgment. It's not I'm judging you or anything like that. This is very much Libra energy, but it's balance. It's the scales, right? The balance of scales. You got a lot of that here, that you're a very balanced person. And then I pulled 2 crystal cards. This one is Sunstone. I had a little giggle when I saw that. I was like, of course. Empowerment. Again with the sun. The sun is very powerful. Yes. Sunstone. and light. And then we got a hidden light, which is gratitude. It's interesting that it's right here next to the Buddha prepares. I think what they're asking there for you to do is when this journey shifts for you, and I think it's definitely coming. And I think that may have been part of your question is, what's next in my journey for my gifts? It's asking you to, one, I believe very strongly, meditate on your gifts, okay? And to sort of focus on your gratitude for your gifts. It may be in the past that you weren't feeling like you really wanted them, but you are most definitely a light worker, absolutely, and a healer. I think that you work within the light, and that's amazing to me. I think because you have the Six of Cups here, this is an ability you've known about your whole life, but maybe weren't able to put words to, and that you're journeying to try and figure all of that out. So what I would suggest to you is to search out information about light work, perhaps even Reiki work, perhaps even shamanism. There's some masculine energy here, but that doesn't mean anything. In our Coffe Talk Tuesday, I talked about how I have a very strong masculine side. There is masculine and feminine in every human being. So that could just be for some people. But you are definitely a light worker. You're definitely a healer. You definitely were drawn to this for a reason, and Spirit is telling you you're on your way. Your journey is illuminated, and that be prepared because it's coming to you soon. Be grateful for it. If you've ever said, I don't like this, I don't want this, they're asking you to be grateful for it. That will help you to blossom open your abilities. And of course, you've got the Sunstone again, empowerment, that you will feel empowered in your abilities when you fully embrace them. I think that light workers, Reiki masters, shamans are amazing people because they have the ability to not just heal your spiritual being, but physical beings as well. If you have that ability to be able to see illness in people and that sort of thing, you really need to embrace it. It is something that this world really needs right now. We really need it. I think that this is beautiful. If you, because you picked the sage, the white sage, I would suggest that you get yourself, if you don't already have it, a smudge stick and use that to cleanse yourself and your space. Okay, so on your journey as you're going and you're trying to figure it all out, and you're doing your practices, get yourself a smudge stick and keep yourself and your space cleansed, and that will help you as well. So I really enjoyed getting to know you guys. I think this is a beautiful, very, very clear message that you are a healer. And I'm thrilled about that because I think that the world and the universe needs a lot more of you guys. And I thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys come back again. Love and light. Bye. Hello, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. So you chose the incense cone. And the card that was underneath it, if you can see here, is the Diamond Dreamer. This is really interesting to me. And it always amazes me when I do a reading. It never goes how I think it's going to go. It surprises me every single time. And this one most certainly did. So we'll keep that one in mind right there. And let me explain. I do my readings a little bit differently. I am legally blind, visually impaired. And so I have a lot of friends that are as well. And so as you can see, the cards are already laid out. And I go through them one by one so that the person who is here for this reading can hear it if they cannot see it. Okay, so that's why we're already started here. So I will start at the beginning with your tarot cards. And the first card that came out, if you can see it there, is the Hanged Man. The next card that came out is the Father of Wands. I'll try and pick that up so you can see it there. It's the Father of Wands. I'm going to run through all the cards and then explain what I'm seeing overall, because the overall picture is very interesting. And then the third card that came out was the Fool. And the last card that came out, one of my favorites, the World. Okay. Then we'll move on here. Now I pulled Akashic Records cards from my Akashic Records Oracle deck. And the first one you got is the Lightning Bolt. Okay, and that is the 8 of Forces. Okay, so nature. The Lightning Bolt. And then you got the Akashic Library. Very interesting. It's the 2. I believe in angel numbers, so if any of these numbers mean anything to you or have significance to you, your first card is the 6, and that is again the diamond. Keep that in mind, the Diamond of Dreamers. And then I pulled 2 crystal cards, and the first one here is Shattuck Knight, and it says the Teacher. Very interesting. And then you got a Herkimer Diamond, the Dreamer. I find it amazing. Okay, you've got 2 Diamond and 2 Dreamer cards, the Diamond Dreamer and the Dreams, and the Herkimer Diamond Dreams. That's, ooh, you can't make that stuff up. That is spirit talking to you. And then I pulled 2, if I can pick that up there. And let's see, we have on the right here, we have the Creator, and on the left here we have the Sword. And these are archetypal cards, okay? The Creator and the Sword. So I heard very loudly, Teacher, and that your gift, what I believe is your gift, is to share your knowledge. Your knowledge may come to you through dreams, and that's how you're reaching the Akashic Records. I think that you have the ability to do that. I also heard the law of attraction. So with the Hanged Man and the Fool and the Father of Wands, and who is the Creator, and you have another Creator here. This is somebody that I'm reading for here who is very prosperous in everything that they do, but they have the ability, your spiritual gift is to teach to others their gifts, to teach to others the law of attraction, to teach to others your successful creativity, right? You have the Creator and you have the Father of Wands. You have the Dreamer and you have the Dreamer. You have the Akashic Records. You have the Teacher card, okay? You are someone whose spiritual gifts is being able to tap into the law of attraction, the Akashic Records, the knowledge of the universe, and to share it. Okay, this comes easily for you. You're a successful person, and it's something that your spirit guides, the universe is asking you to do. It's repeated here over and over again. The Fool is someone who leaps in, but you have the ability to do that because you've mastered this. And you have the World here, completion, the total package, okay? I see that for you. I believe that you are studying how to do this. I believe that it comes easily for you. I believe that you will, if you are not already, you will become, you will become a teacher. I'm getting very warm and I just got a little lightheaded. If you are not already, you are very much a guru type of teacher. And that the success that you have reached came to you through your spiritual gifts. There may be some of you out there who are successful at other things, other creative endeavors. But what this is saying is that came to you through your spiritual gifts, and that you need to teach it as well. How to do that, how to manifest, how the law of attraction works. I believe that you have the ability to already, but there may be some of you out there who are studying to learn how to tap into the Akashic Records, and it may come to you in, what is that saying? It came to me like a light bulb going off, right? And that happens to you often. Those are your spiritual gifts. That is your gift to be able to tap into the law of attraction, to tap into the universe. That is something that comes very naturally for you. And what Spirit is asking you to do is to share that ability, okay? Whether that is to share spirituality with someone, or if it's to share your business intellect, if it's to share your creative abilities. You have creator twice here, that you are obviously someone who can create great things. That's what they're asking you to do. I see that you get this gift from Spirit, and that's how you can do these really incredible things. This is not something we talked about on Coffe Talk Tuesday. This is not an ability we discussed. We discussed very generalized things, but this is very specific, and it is very unique. Not many people have the ability to, there's lots of successful people in the world, but not many are like you, okay? Not many are like you in that when you are successful, you give back, you teach how to do the same. Open arms, open hands, okay? That this is your spiritual gift, and this is what you were brought here to do. I find that just absolutely remarkable, how you have the Diamond Dreamer and the Diamond Dreamer. It's just amazing. So you are somebody who can manifest. You are somebody who is easily tapped into the law of attraction, and it's something that they're asking you to share, because you can do it. You are a unique individual that way. Many people can be successful and keep it all to themselves. You are not that person. If you're not at your pinnacle yet, okay, you will be. So they're asking you to continue on. But you are, from what I see, at the level of being able to teach. I would, if you're not already, which I'm sure that you are, if you're not already, that you look further deeper into the Akashic Records and connecting with them. If you've never heard of them, take the time to look into them. I've got chills everywhere. I'm feeling very kind of detached right now. So I feel I'm channeling this really, really clearly. I think that it's a remarkable ability. I don't know that I've ever met anybody like that. You are very successful at what you do. You're a very creative person. You've got the Father of Wands here. So you are very creative, but you are also a giver. And you are also someone who will share your knowledge and your ability to manifest. And that's your spiritual gift. That's amazing. Wow. It was very, very clear, this reading. I'm sorry it's not very long, but it's very, very clear about what this message is. Very clear. Spirit was right on the money with this one. I think it's incredible how many of these cards really interlock with each other and repeat the same message again and again. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm repeating myself. It's just what the messages I'm getting. That you are a manifester, that you know and can tap into the law of attraction. That's your spiritual guide, and that you should teach it as well. That's what they're asking you to do. It was a pleasure to have met you. I'm very, very impressed by this one. I think that's an amazing gift, that this ability comes to you naturally through spiritual gifts. That's incredible. Thank you so much for letting me do this for you. I hope to see you again. Hello, Group 3. How are you today? And welcome to your reading. So you chose the match. So I was guided to go ahead and light you a candle with it. So that is what I'm going to do. So I should explain a little something about myself while I'm trying to get this lit. I am an intuitive reader. There we go. And I am legally blind. And so you can see I read a little differently. You can see that your cards are already out. Okay. And I do this because I have friends who are also visually impaired and blind. And so I do this so that they can hear it as well as others can see it. So I'm going to go one by one and I will explain to you what I'm seeing today in your reading. Your first card, the card that was underneath your match, was the Metal King. And I'll come back to that. That is about protection and discipline. So for your tarot cards, I pulled 4. I pulled 4 for all of the groups. And the first card you received was the Magician. The second card, the Hermit. Hope you can see that. The third card is the Daughter of Pentacles. And the fourth card is the Moon. And this is where I heard who I'm speaking to and who I'm doing this reading for. So I will continue on here real quick. So I pulled 2 Akashic Records cards from my Akashic Records Oracle deck. And the first one you got was Spring Autumn. Now, if the card is upright, it's spring. If it's in reverse, it's autumn, and you got it upright, so it is spring. And it is the 4 of Forces. And the second card that you got is Balance. Okay, and that is the 7 of Forces. So interesting, you got 2 nature, basically nature cards, okay? Then I pulled 2 crystal cards. And the first one that you got is Life's Purpose, your life purpose, Amazonite. That's interesting because, and I'll get to that in just a moment. And then the second one you got was Divine Temple, Source. You can see there it is a quartz crystal pyramid. Okay, and then I pulled 2 archetype cards. And the first one that you got is the One, again, Source. And then the other one that you got was the Village. So I'll tell you what I heard immediately when I pulled this for you. You are, now this may be something that you already know, or it may be something that maybe you've questioned or thought about, or maybe you should think about. But you are someone whose spiritual gifts come from nature. Okay? You are very connected to nature. And because you have the Daughter of Pentacles, and because you have the Moon here, and because you have the Magician, and a lot of major arcana here, okay, because you have the Magician and you have the Hermit, I believe that you would be a solitary witch. You could be a Wiccan or a pagan as well. And I'll tell you why I say that, because you have here the Village, right? So that would be a coven, is what it's suggesting to me, or what they're telling me. Okay, this is what I heard immediately, is that you are a witch or a pagan, but you are a natural witch. and you may connect very, very closely with nature. You may have done this the whole of your life. You could be a green witch, you could be a kitchen witch. Again, you could be a Wiccan or a pagan as well. But there is so much here about you connecting with nature, that your spiritual guides are a connection with nature that you've probably had your whole life. And maybe even up to today, you haven't been able to put a word to it, a name to it, a practice to it. But what these cards are telling me, especially with Source, okay, and with your life purpose, is that this is how you were built, and this is how this is your natural spiritual gift, is your ability to connect with nature. That could be animals, that could be trees and plants and that sort of thing. It may even be that you know, you're good at cooking and mixing herbs, and you may create candles, and you may, all of those things may come very naturally to you, and it's very fascinating for you. And you grow your own herbs and your own flowers, and you dry flowers and that sort of thing. And that has always been like that. Even maybe as a child, you used to take flowers from the garden and you'd press them in a book and keep them, that sort of thing. So it's always been a very strong connection for you. You've probably always felt very strongly connected to animals, to the trees, to the changes of weather, and you felt that you could tell when the weather was going to change or a storm was coming before you ever saw it on the news, that sort of thing. That's deeply embedded in who you are. It's natural to you. Okay, that's what I heard. This is a natural witch. This is someone who is so interconnected to nature that it comes from Source, and this is who you're meant to be. So here we have again Source. So it is a part of who you are. It is embedded into your existence, okay? With the Village, if you are, I see you right now, of course, especially with the Hermit card, that you keep it to yourself. Maybe you're a little bit hesitant about sharing that you feel this, that you have always felt a strong connection with being a witch, with being a Wiccan, with being a pagan. But you kind of hold back and don't, you know, share that with your family or share that with your friends, because there's still that sort of ridiculous stigma to it. But with the Village card, what it's saying is maybe you need to find a coven. Maybe you need to start searching out some like-minded people, even if it's just to have a little quick conversation with them and see if what and who they are really resonate with you. If it does, it's something that you should look into further and really delve in, even if you have to do it in a hermetic type of way, keeping it to yourself for a while. But if you feel this very strong connection, and I see that you do, that maybe finding a local occult shop and finding some people to talk to about it, going online and finding a group to talk to and share your experiences with, you may find very easily that that connects with me. I understand that. I feel that too. And what this is saying, what Source is most definitely saying, what Spirit is most definitely saying to you, is that you are someone who this comes so naturally and it flows so easily for you that it's something that you need to embrace. Now, with the Metal King, this, again, it talks about discipline and armor and boundaries. So this may mean a couple of different things to you. This may be just them saying, listen, you need to research more about this, find out more about this, try harder to better understand who you really truly are, because Source really wants you to do this. Spirit really wants you to take what is natural to you. It's very natural to you. It just flows from you. And research it and really try to understand it. And then this way you can grow yourself. Now, if you need to keep boundaries up, that's perfectly okay, because you still have to live in the world. Is that right? Yeah. So, but when I was really delving into this card, I thought, I wonder if there is a God that you need, that is important to you, that can help you. So maybe look into gods and goddesses and see, you know, which one resonates the most for you. Maybe that's helpful for you and will help to grow your practice. Or if you're just beginning, because you have the Daughter of Pentacles here, I see that you're younger, or this is new to you, okay, but this is fresh and a younger energy that I'm getting from the people that are connected to this pile. So if you felt drawn to pile 3, this is why, okay? So when we have here the source, but it is the divine temple, again, I think it's telling you twice here that you need to find a coven or find like-minded people to talk to about this. And they may have wonderful, enlightened information for you. I think that that's wonderful. And it will help you to be more open with yourself. Okay, and then when you become more comfortable with the knowledge that you gain, and whether it be through books or other people or anything like that, then maybe you can open up a bit more to the broader spectrum of people around you. You may have felt for a very long time very kind of isolated and closed off. This is telling you, go out and search out others. Okay, I know many Wiccans and pagans and witches, and they are warm and welcoming and loving people, and they will absolutely help you in any way that you need. So, having said all of those things, I truly believe Source has a plan for you. Spirit has a plan for you. Always has. You were born this way. It's completely natural to you. So don't hide from it. Seek out help. Seek out friends. Seek out those who are like you. And you will be amazed at the growth that comes from this. Because it truly is a natural gift for you. It really is. I loved this one. I love it when they just sort of open and blossom like this, and you get the very clear picture very quickly that this is my group who are natural witches, who are natural pagans, who are natural Wiccans, who have felt a kinship, a connection, right from the earth, right? Mama Earth means a lot to you. You may even be an activist of some kind of about well, anything about having to do with the earth and saving the earth, and you may feel it deep within, and that's natural for you. So thank you so much for letting me do this for you. I feel very blessed to have gotten to meet you. If you have any questions for me, if you you want to talk some more, or if you need some help trying to connect with anyone, you let me know, and I'm always here to help. And it was very nice meeting you. Love and light, and I hope to see you again soon. Hello, Group 4. Welcome to your reading. So let me explain. I read a little bit differently than most. I'm legally blind, visually impaired, and I have a lot of friends that are as well. So what I will do is I will put the cards out. As you can see, they're already laid out. And then I will run through the cards and explain them to those who can not visually see it, but can only hear it, so that everyone can participate. So this was a very, very interesting reading. Actually, all 4 of these have been very different than what I expected. And this one, I'm not quite sure what your gifts are. This one, you're going to have to work out for yourself. And it's probably because I don't think I've ever met anybody like this. I will tell you what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, and what I think it is, but I'm not going to sort of pigeonhole, because I really don't have a name to put towards this. It's very specific, so you will feel it if it is meant for you. If you are drawn to this pile, you will feel and understand exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't think I've ever met anybody like you before. So this is very interesting, or I've never had a name for it or title for it. But All right, having said that, let's jump in. You chose my Buddhist meditation. I use this during meditation. It's very balanced. So, and I was drawn by Spirit to pick that. Not sure why. That may mean something to you as well. And the card that was underneath it is the Queen, the Chess Queen. And one of the first words here is trust. And when I turned this card over, the word trust, as I was pulling the rest of the cards, just kept repeating over and over and over again to me in my head. And that's interesting. Oops, stand up now. And that's interesting because you have another card here that also says trust. It's Pomegranate, and it's one of the crystal cards, but we'll come back to that. So when that card came out, I was like, okay, well, this is very, very important. There's something here about trust. But I'm going to start at the beginning. Your very first tarot card is the Star card. You had quite a bit of major arcana here, which is very interesting. It's the Star card. Next to that is the Emperor. Next to that is the Wheel of Fortune. Very interesting. And then I pulled the Five of Swords. Even more interesting. Which brings me down here to your other crystal card. And that is the Shadow. I'm going in this direction for a reason. Just bear with me, okay? Now, I pulled cards from the Akashic Records Oracle card deck that I have. And when I was doing it, now with the other groups, I only pulled 3. Excuse me, with the other groups, I only pulled 2. For you, I felt compelled to pull 3 and then a 4th because I was a little bit confused. And I just kept hearing Akashic Records, Akashic Records, or Akashic Records over and over again in my head, so I pulled more. So, here we have, here we have the King of Forces, which then leads us to the Lightning Bolt, another Forces card, which then led me to the King of Roses. There's a theme happening here. And this is the card that I pulled last because I was very confused by the whole thing. And this is Archangel Gabriel, who is the angel of communication, the bringer of scrolls and information, okay? Very Mercury, okay? Now, I also pulled archetypal cards. This is the One, or the Universe, the All, and the Village. Interestingly, and this may be, these 2 cards also came out for Group 3. So maybe you'll want to go back and look at Group 3's reading to get a little additional information that might help you. So and again, with the crystal cards, I'll run through these again, is Black Obsidian, the Shadow, and Pomegranate, Trust. So we've got trust twice. But more significantly, we have the Father, and the Father 3 separate times here. We have the Emperor, who is the ultimate father, who is also associated with the Sun card, okay, or Pentacles, right next to the Star card. But we have Father and Father again. So you've got it 3 times here, which is fascinating to me. Then you have the Wheel of Fortune, and then the Five of Swords. Now, the reason I brought up the Five of Swords is because of the Shadow card. Because it comes right after, okay? I believe that there's some shadow work that you need to do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I see you... how do I explain this? There are many different kinds of spiritual gifts. Okay, they're of course spiritual gifts that you're born with, right? That you bring into this life. We are all light body beings living a human experience. And when you sign your soul contract to come back, you bring back a particular set of skills with you. And they are, all, of course, all spiritual skills, right? Because you brought it with you from spirit. And it is what we are meant to do. It is what Source has asked us to do, okay? So when I first started to unfold this, I was hearing that you were a communicator, first and foremost, very clearly, right? You have Gabriel communication, you have the lightning bolt communication, you have fathers, all communication, okay? But I was also seeing that you're a healer, okay? That you're a guiding light, the star, right? Somebody that people go to for advice, for counseling is what I was hearing, okay? So what I feel like is not that you're not just a healer, right? You have the village here, okay? You are somebody who is meant to work with others, communicate with others through healing. And I felt and I heard that there's some kind of combination of being a counselor, okay, like in psychology type counselor, but also being a sort of shaman like counselor. Okay, so this is why it confused me a little bit. I feel like you have that gift that maybe a shaman would have, but that you share it, or you are meant to share it, in a way that is counseling. This is why I'm confused by all of this. This may make absolutely perfect sense to you, okay? But this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm feeling. I'll have to tell you, I don't know that much about shamanism. I must say that I believe that this is directed towards a male, okay? Does not have to be that way. But there is so much father masculine energy here. Now, you may be a female who is born female and but assigns as male, or you may have a very strong masculine side. I have a strong masculine side. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be of one gender or the other. But it is what I'm feeling very strongly here is that there's a lot of masculine energy. So this is very interesting to me because I've never seen anything like this before. But two, it's asking you also to trust yourself. So you must know what this is, this ability. But maybe you're looking for direction on how to express this ability. And there may be some kind of crossover between traditional medicine and shaman medicine. Do you see what I'm saying? So that science and spirituality working together as one. And that may be, I could be speaking to someone who has actually gone through college and you're a counselor or you're a psychiatrist or a psychologist or that you work in that sort of field, but you've always felt that there's something missing that you're not putting into your practice. Okay, when you counsel people, and that this may be that sort of missing link for you, and you've been questioning that. That's what I feel. I feel like you have both a very strong kind of scientific mind and a very strong spiritual mind, and that you're a counselor, somebody who speaks with, I'm hearing grief counselor. I just heard that. So some of you, that may resonate for you. That you are a counselor of some kind, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. You may counsel people through addictions. You may counsel people, although I don't see that here. That sort of counseling, very medical side, very scientific side, but that you have always felt that maybe there was something missing in your practice as a counselor. Or this is something that you're thinking about doing. Maybe you want to go into psychiatry. Maybe you want to go into counseling. But you have this very strong spiritual side that you want to bring into that. And this is telling you, yes, you need to trust yourself. You need to trust your intuition in this situation and trust that where you're being guided and what Spirit is telling you to do is correct. That, now, having said that, with the 5 of Swords and with the Shadow card, there may be, before you get to this point, some shadow work that you need to do. I'm not seeing anything here that is specific to what that might be, but it's very clearly there's something there, because, or you may be actually right in the middle of working on your shadow aspects. That is something that you need to counsel yourself for. If that makes sense. So you may come from a very particular background, group of people, nationality or heritage or something like that, that is very strong within your spiritual beliefs. It's very much a part of your spiritual beliefs. I get that part. I'm Armenian. I get that. But I get very clearly that's where your spiritual beliefs come from. Okay, is your village. Okay, what's it? You know, it takes a village, right? But that at the same time, you are the Father of Swords. You are the Father of Forces. You're a very forceful personality that can take charge in a room if you need to. But at the same time, you're the Father of Roses, who can be that tender person that somebody needs to have to go to. You're definitely somebody people go to. And you have that sort of tender side that you can be very calming in a difficult situation. You can counsel people easily. So you can be both sides of that coin. You can be very forceful and very strong, and it's very King of Swords, okay? But at the same time, you have that sort of tender side that's really needed if you're a counselor. And now with the Archangel Gabriel, it could very well be that maybe if you're looking for a way to do this, and you're looking for some inspiration from Source on how you can create this combination, right, with the Emperor's creation. He's the father of ultimate father, right? If you're looking for it, maybe ask Archangel Gabriel to communicate to you a way of doing this. That may be the guidance here. So it's very unique. I find it's so interesting to me. And when it was coming out, I thought, wow, who is this person? They are definitely unique and have a sort of bright, brilliant, the star card, right? Bright, brilliant, guiding light. And they're looking for that place to combine the two. If you haven't already figured it out, I would love, please tell me who you are. I would love to hear in the comments if this resonates for you, because I find it just so interesting that it's not just about, you know, you go to college and you get your education and you do your job. It's, you have come up with a combination of the two that I think is so fascinating. I think it's beautiful and fascinating and wonderful that you can take those two aspects, this sort of science and spirituality, and mash them together. I think that's incredibly amazing. I find this so interesting. And I feel very, very blessed that you let me do this reading for you. I think it's very cool. I hope that helped. I hope it resonated. I really want to know what this is. And maybe it's a spiritual gift I don't know about, or I don't have a name for, because I've never heard of it. But I think it's just incredibly interesting. Thank you very much for letting me do this reading for you, and I hope that I get to see you again soon. Bye-bye.